Hello, my name is Jeremy Ruff. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm showing my researches on the hippie culture, subculture in the U.S. Thank you for your attention at the lecture. I also want to thank you for your time and hope you're able to get something from the material I'm about to provide here. I used reliable sources to get the information on the subculture, the hippies, and how the way they help the medication industry as well as them as a group help the world and nation we are today as a democracy where the people's voice counts. We are many things about them that you may not have been aware of. I'd like to give a brief history of them and let's start things off. The 50s felt different in the 60s when the college students wanted more than the simplistic lifestyle of the common day 50s were known for. In the 50s, there was a similar group of hippies. This was in the 50s, though, and they were called the beatniks. The beatniks used drugs and for some reason didn't have a promising sex life. The hippies had a very sexual lifestyle. They believed in peace and love. They were known for that. Adolescents in today's world have a rebelliousness of the hippies as they were in the 60s. They choose to get self-piercings to remind them of the trauma they had been through here in today's world. The people in need of a helping hand show the ways the hippies' drug use and made pharmaceuticals go in a unique direction. Also, I would like to start things off with a culture that may have begun to prove that bonobos were one of the first. Bonobo apes were one of the first cultures that we were able to study, other than the chimpanzees. I'm sort of going off the dialogue a little. But anyway, let's see. There are two groups of bonobos with the same traits, with two different hunting styles amongst them. They are known to use the same ground to provide food for themselves amongst the two groups. They had different hunting styles amongst them. The one group was after a flying squirrel, and the other group of bonobos hunt mini deer type animal. There are two different cultures that intertwine amongst the two groups of bonobos. The hippies were wearing bell bottoms with grown beards and long hair, practicing peace and love amongst them. Before, in the 50s, there was a similar group of rebellious adolescents called the Beats, as stated before. Now that the two groups were playing at separate times, I'm feeling the vibe that the two groups, hippies and beats, had to be mixed in with one another throughout the 50s and 60s. Sort of grew into it is what I'm gonna give my hunch for. The hippies loved their music. The thing was jam bands. This is a musical group that instead of a 4 or 5 minute song would do a 7 or 10 minute song. They loved the concerts and they got what they were looking for, which was a good time. Today it's a little different world. Kids are dealing with the stressful internet world, and there's trauma in their lives that they go through that's a little bit different from back then. With these jam bands. The new age we're in gives support to children who are all stressed out about getting traumatized. They have all helped us to get the pharmaceutical drugs needed by the studying the hippies receiving from their subculture of drug use, and the new children had a hard internet world similar to what the hippies were dealing with. They are now showing us the better drugs, better than LSDs, There are, in fact, MDMA studies that have been going on, and the trials for these drugs are, in fact, in trial today. Hippies helped our country by engaging spiritually with their LSD use. They had peace and love in their minds and began to get the word out about the war in Vietnam. They showed up with their college aptitudes to Washington, D.C., all 500,000 of them, protesting the democracy that we have been at work. We helped ourselves to help our sovereignty of our nation by proving that democracy is a living, real government type that helps itself through the people. Thank you for your time. I look forward to any questions you may have, and those questions, I'll see if I can get to look into them. Thank you. Have a good night.